All right, let's talk about misdirection. When you hear that word, where does your mind go? I'm guessing it's probably magicians, maybe a fast-talking con artist, or a pickpocket on a crowded street. We think of it as, the art of deception, hiding something so you can't see it.
But what if that's not really what's going on? What if the real secret to misdirection isn't about hiding things at all?
Well, if you ask someone like Apollo Robbins, who's basically the best sleight of hand artist in the world, he'll tell you the secret isn't deception. It's all about understanding how our attention works. It's not about hiding something. It's about guiding the most valuable thing we have, our focus.
Okay, so let's really dig into this first big idea. It's so easy to think that we see the world like a camera, right? Like we're just recording everything that happens around us. But that's not really how our brains work. The truth is, our perception is way, way more selective.
And this right here, this comparison really nails it. A camera is passive. It just soaks everything in. But our attention, it's like an active spotlight. It's got a super limited beam, and wherever you point that beam, everything else just kind of fades into the dark. It literally filters reality for you, only showing you a tiny piece of the whole picture.
So, what happens when you're walking around with a spotlight instead of a camera? Well, it means we all have this huge built-in blind spot. And this filtering system, which, by the way, is totally necessary so we don't get overwhelmed, it actually has a scientific name.
This whole idea of our mind working like a spotlight, it leads directly to this phenomenon that I guarantee you've experienced, even if you never had a name for it.
It's called inattentional blindness. And let's be really clear about this. This is not a personal flaw. It's not a sign you're not paying attention. It is a feature of an incredibly efficient brain. Our minds are constantly editing reality for us, deciding what's important and just tossing out the rest. It's a mental shortcut that lets us, function.
And this is where it gets wild. We feel like we saw everything. We're confident about it. But that feeling of confidence, it usually has nothing to do with accuracy. It's just a sign that your brain did a really good job creating a smooth, coherent story by filling in all the blanks. And that gap, the one between what we feel we saw and what was actually there, that's exactly where misdirection lives and breathes.
So, okay, how does this actually show up in our lives, when we're not at a magic show? Well, this subtle game of guiding our attention, it is happening all day, every day, in the most normal situations you can imagine.
I mean, just think about it. Simple politeness trains us to look at people's faces when we talk to them, completely ignoring what their hands are doing. That buzz from your phone, that is literally engineered to hijack your spotlight. Ads use an emotional hook to get you to lower your guard. And in a debate, the way a question is framed can completely control the conversation. And that feeling of urgency, that act now pressure, it's basically designed to short-circuit your thinking altogether.
So we see where it happens. But now let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's look at how it's actually done. What are the tools in the toolkit for capturing that precious spotlight of our attention?
Well, it really boils down to three main methods. First, there's attentional capture. This is the physical stuff, like a sudden movement, a pointed finger, or a light touch. Then you have emotional capture, which uses feelings like surprise or humor, or that urgency we just talked about, to create a kind of mental blink. But honestly, the most powerful one of all is story capture. The second our brain locks onto a clean, simple explanation for something, we just stop asking questions. We actually start to defend that story, even if it contradicts what's right in front of our faces.
Now, I know this can all sound a little unsettling, but here's the good news. Understanding how all this works isn't about becoming cynical or paranoid. It's actually about empowerment. It's about moving from just being aware of this stuff to taking active control over your own focus.
Because really, the goal here isn't to walk around suspicious of everyone. I mean, how exhausting would that be? The real goal is to develop a sense of calm, deliberate awareness.
And the experts in this field have some pretty simple but really powerful habits for this. First one, own your tempo. Misdirection loves speed, so when you feel rushed, just deliberately slow down. Take a breath. Second, label the emotion. When you feel that surge of urgency or maybe flattery, just name it in your head. Oh, that's urgency. It creates just enough distance to let you think clearly. And third, verify high stakes. Make checking things a normal, polite part of your process, not some kind of accusation. It's not about distrust, it's just about being thorough.
So, when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway? After all this talk about magicians and influence and blind spots, the most important skill isn't about spotting misdirection in other people. It's about mastering the art of direction for yourself.
Because once you truly get that your attention is a spotlight, you suddenly have the power to choose where you aim it. And the question isn't who is trying to guide me anymore, The real question is, where are you going to point your spotlight next?